Sports fans, Jeff Cook reporting from Biglerville High School. A backyard brawl tonight, Bermudian Springs versus Biglerville. Two young teams both looking for wins. Bermudian 1-3, Biglerville 0-4, but some extra motivation for the Canners tonight. Their coach is not able to be here, apparently sidelined with kidney stones, and maybe they'll dedicate their first victory of the season to Coach Sterner. Last week, a rushing attack materialized for the Canners in the person of Richie Hernandez, 186 yards, scored a defensive touchdown, so an instant infusion of excitement for the Canners. They have their starting quarterback back this week, Jerry Mickley, so Canner faithful have a lot of room for optimism against arch-rival Bermudian Springs. The Eagles come in here under Coach Russ Greenholt, 1-3 as I mentioned. They eked out a win over Northern. Both teams lost to Camp Hill, so you can't go by comparative scores. Bermudian has an experienced quarterback in senior Dave Spangler, and Ben Price, an effective rusher. So the key might be who can best balance their offense. The defenses are both performing well right now, so throw out the records. This is for local bragging rights. Bermudian and Biglerville. We'll be right back with a kickoff in a moment. Co-captains meeting at the midline. A beautiful night for football. We've had the anthem and the Biglerville alma mater, and we are ready for kickoff. The goal to our right. The Canners will boot it away and defend the goal to our left. The Canners in their traditional black and gold, and Bermudian in white and red. High school football here on Adams Community Television. We are channel 25 on your Salmon's dial. And if you'd like to get involved with your local TV station, give us a call at 334-3000. Local sports in your living room every Monday night. Jeff Cook, along with Paul Plank on camera. I'll be doing a solo in the first half, but Coach Joe Yeck will be joining me later for his customary incisive commentary. Deep to receive, a triumvirate for Bermudian, consisting of Ryan Hoffman, Ben Price, and Nick Morgan. And it's Price at about his own 15-yard line. Heads to the far side, looking for a wall of blockers. Finally bumped out at about the 32 by Jerry Walmer. Mike Smith, the kicker for the Canners, booted it deep, and a decent run back will give the Eagles excellent field position for their initial drive at their own 32-yard line. The center for the Eagles is Matt Brandt. The guards are Keith Wickline and Mike Weiser, and Stacy Kuntz and Waylon Timmer are the tackles. Two tight ends set out of the eye. The ball is pitched to Price. Tried to turn the corner. Not much there. Andy Amsbacher, Chris May converge to hold Price to about a 2-yard gain, so it'll be 2nd and 8. Skilled position players for the Eagles. The quarterback is David Spangler. Ryan Hoffman, the wide receiver. In the backfield, it's Nick Morgan. Matt Petrosky, the tight end. Chad Deal is the fullback. 2nd and a long 8. The give is to Price off tackle. Big hole. He'll be about 3 yards short. Rusty Spangler from his right inside linebacker position made the stop. It's 3rd and about 1.5 yards. So Bermudian staying on the ground here in the opening drive. Big 3rd down call. Let's set that Biglerville defense. In the interior, it's Ben Amsbacher, Chad Naylor, Dave Fetters, and Chris Roberts. The backers, Rusty Spangler, Mike Smith, Danny Walker, and Richie Hernandez. In the secondary, Jerry Mickley, or rather Jerry Walmer, and that's Price again. Close to first down yardage. Amsbacher and Danny Walker on the tackle, and they might have to measure this one. They are going to measure it. Chris May is the deep safety. So Richie Hernandez, number 29, made his season's debut, and they did pick up the first down by the length of the football. I talked about Hernandez in the opener, 186 yards rushing, so he gave the Canners a spark they really need. This is Morgan, flanked out here to the near side, and the give is to Price. Second effort got him maybe a yard or two. Mike Smith, along with Hernandez, in on the stop. Dave Fetters in on the play as well. 2nd and 8. Bermudian fans, of course, this year enjoying their night football for the first time in their history. They got their new lights. So now they're more in sync with the rest of the football powers in the area. Whoa, Spangler is down. Rusty Spangler sacks David Spangler. Are they related? Not sure. Possible. But no love lost on that play as David Spangler swarmed under for about a 9-yard loss. It's 3rd and 17. Spangler, the draw to Price. Apparently a flag down. I did not see it. Procedure, they will probably decline that. Well, unless it's a dead ball foul, I guess they have to take it. So it'll be 3rd and 22, and actually, well, I guess they do have the chance to decline that penalty because they're speaking now with the Biglerville captain. And they do decline it. 4th down. Bermudian will have to punt it away. So Hernandez and Chris May drop deep for the anticipated punt. Ryan Eisenhart will handle the punting chores. It's a short kick. Hernandez fields it. And Ben Price there on the coverage. Hernandez tried a straight arm, took that ball in traffic. It nearly hit a coverage man for the Eagles. But the Canners have decent field position for their initial offensive set at their own 37-yard line. 1st and 10, Canners. And Jerry Mickley, we were here in the opener against Littlestown when he sprained his ankle, got a little bit of action last week, and he will run the offense here tonight. Brian Redding did a nice job in his absence. Walmer is flanked to the near side. Straight ahead to Rusty Spangler. Got maybe 2 or 3 yards before Keith Wickline made the stop. 2nd and 7. Officials have a timeout. This time, Danny Walker is split to the far side, and Jerry Walmer flanked to the near. As always, we want to thank our sponsor, the pub and restaurant on the square in Gettysburg. Victuals and libations galore. You'll find them all at the pub. 2nd and 7. Canners out of the eye. The give on the delay to Hernandez. Bulls his way for about 3 or 4 more. Wickline again in on the stop. He was assisted by Chad Deal. So it's going to be 3rd and 4. Hernandez checks out. Amsbacher takes his place. Spangler now running the fullback position. He's only about 2 yards behind the quarterback. Twins out here to the near side. Oh, and Chris May couldn't get there. Nick Morgan on the coverage. And the Canners will boot it away. Coach Sterner's assistants are running things in his absence tonight. They are Ken Schaefer, Jim Van Dyke, Jeff Wirtz, and Tony Fetters. Chris May will punt. Nick Morgan and Ryan Hoffman deep to receive for the Eagles. Hernandez wrapped them up for no gain on the return, and the Eagles will start at their own 28-yard line. Good coverage by the Canner special teams. So nearly halfway through the first quarter, we are scoreless. Each team sputtering in its initial series. Eagles did pick up a first down, and then they stalled. Morgan flanked to the near side. The tight end for Bermudian is Matt Petrosky, 6'4", 212, so he's a big target. Off tackle, they go to Price. Chris Roberts with the initial stop, and Hernandez chimed in as well. 2nd and 5, so give Price 5 yards on the carry. Misdirection worked well. Josh Grimm into the lineup for Coach Greenhold. They go again to Price, who picks up the first down and more. Rusty Spangler finally tackled him. Chad Naylor with an assist, and Eagles move the chains. They're at their own 42. Neither team has yet completed a pass, primarily keeping things on the ground. Bermudian has not yet thrown the ball. They dropped the pass and had their quarterback sacked. Morgan goes in motion. Handoff inside for not much. Chad Deal was driven back. Dave Fetters with the excellent defensive clog. And Deal actually lost the yard. 2nd and 11. Temperature in the 60s. Excellent evening. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. They go to Morgan on the reverse. Tries to turn the corner. And Walmer with the containment. 3rd and a long 9. Call it 3rd and 10. So Spangler might have to air it out here. They faked the fullback and then swung Morgan to the near side, but he was unable to turn the corner. Morgan flanked to the near side. Hoffman as a wing on the far side. Play action. Oh, and Spangler sacked again. Richie Hernandez was coming with a blitz, and he just beat Mike Smith to the quarterback. So they might have to fight over that statistic, but it's a big loss, and Bermudian will have to punt it again. So already Hernandez making his presence felt.
License plate Canada CG857. Red Nissan Sentra. License plate NC 8-5-7.
Boot is away. Hernandez, fearless back there. Shakes off a couple tackles and picked up 5 yards. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. So Ryan Eisenhart's punt only about 30-some yards. And the Canners, 1st and 10 at their own 43. Under 3 minutes now in the quarter. Walker and Walmer, twins to the near side. They give us to Hernandez. Little stiff arm, little sidestep. Breaks the tackle, ends up getting about 5 yards. Excellent elusivity by Richie Hernandez. Waylon Trimmer and Stacy Kuntz collaborate on the stop. Alexis Vasquez checks into the lineup with a play from the bench. 2nd and 5, so that play started out of sync, but Hernandez made things happen, picked up 5 yards. Walmer in motion. The pitch to Hernandez, cuts back inside, still on his feet, crosses midfield. He'll be about 2 yards short of the 1st down. Nick Morgan in on the stop for the Eagles. The Canners would like nothing better than to brighten their coach's physical condition with a win here tonight. He's out of action with painful kidney stones. Hernandez picks up the 1st down and he fumbled. He fumbled as he came across. He thought maybe the ground caused the fumble, but it's going to go as a turnover as Ryan Hoffman fell on it and the Eagles take over. Hernandez had picked up the 1st down and the pigskin came loose. 1st and 10 Eagles at their own 37. Just when the Canners looked like they were on the march. Under a minute now in the 1st quarter. Morgan flanked to the near side. Backs out of the eye. Play action. Oh! All alone was Josh Graham. And Spangler just overthrew him. Just over his outstretched fingertips. And that play action froze the defensive secondary. Grimm was flying through there all alone. And Spangler just missed him. A collective sigh of relief from the Biglerville faithful, as that had 6 points written all over it. 2nd and 10, so play action on 1st down. Coach Greenholt trying to mix up the calls here. Straight drop for Spangler. They go to the screen. Price has it. Walmer from his defensive corner made the stop. But Price picked up about 7 yards. Nice job by Spangler. Amsbacher went pouring through there, but that was by design. And Spangler just lobbed it over his head. Hernandez out of the lineup. Alexis Vasquez in his place. And that is the end of the 1st quarter. We are scoreless. We'll return with 2nd quarter action. Bermudian faces the 3rd and 3 as we start the 2nd quarter. Special thanks to Coach Dooley, Steve Spots, and Matt Verderami for helping me out last week. And Gettysburg traveled to Big Springs tonight. Thus, this game became unnatural. So, the Canners hold, and the Eagles will have to punt once again. Ryan Eisenhart with his third punt of the half. Hernandez and May deep once again. Hernandez takes it on the run, breaks a couple tackles, then gets back to the 31-yard line. Tackled by Josh Grimm and David Spangler on the special teams coverage. Coach Jim Dooley, Matt Verderami, and Steve Spots filled in last week when I had to MC the 5-year celebration of Adams Community Television. Happy birthday to us. This is our 6th year of high school football, and we've loved every minute of it. Paul Plank bringing you all the camera angles here tonight. Walmer flanked to the far side, 2 tight end set. Mickley handed the ball off to Hernandez. Well, actually, he didn't even get it away. He was tackled for a loss. Excellent defensive surge. Stacy Kuntz was in the Canner backfield. 2nd and 14. Mickley sets up the screen to Hernandez. He breaks a couple tackles. He's into the secondary. Finally tackled from behind by Ben Price, but a huge gain for Richie Hernandez, and he's hobbled. Seemed to twist his ankle, dancing out of a defender's grasp, and he'll be replaced in the lineup, but that screen was well set up by Mickley. The blocking was outstanding, and Hernandez showed some of that open field skill. He picked up about 30 yards on the play. Call it a 38-yard gain. Ball 1st and 10 at the Eagle 35-yard line. Both of these teams have their rosters packed with underclassmen, sophomores, freshmen. They don't want to talk about the future, though. They want to talk about the here and now. Both teams hungry for a win. Apparently there's a timeout to tend to Hernandez. They have to get him out of the way, I guess. Now he's getting on his feet. He was over at the sideline, so I think they will be able to continue now. We'll stay right with the action. 1st and 10, Canners. So Amsbacher replaces Hernandez in the lineup. The give is to Rusty Spangler straight ahead. Mike Weiser, the initial stop. 2nd and 8. 9.5 minutes to go in the half. Canners on the march. So an electrifying 38-yard gain by Rich Hernandez, and then he went down. Hopefully he'll be able to return for the Canners. He certainly brings a dimension they've been lacking. Canners operate out of the eye. Mickley avoids the sack and hits a wide open Chris May. Looks for a blocker, and he's inside the 10 at about the 9-yard line. Ryan Hoffman and Mike Weiser finally bring him down, but excellent throw and catch. Mickley avoided the sack. Intense pressure from the Eagles line. He shook out of a would-be tackle, found May all alone in the flat. And May did a good job of running the football. 1st and goal. At the 10. The give is straight ahead to Spangler. He's down near the 5. Waylon Trimmer and Chad Deal on the stop. Chris Roberts checks back into the Canner lineup. Ball is just inside the 5. Spangler is a junior, and he just was moved to fullback last week. Thus the number change from 82 to 46. Amsbacher off tackle, got a yard or 2. It's going to be 3rd and about 3. Bill Sloman on the stop for the Eagles. Canner's knocking on the door. Chris May split to the near side. Mickley hands to Amsbacher, nothing doing. Big time defensive stop by Josh Hinkle. He dumped Amsbacher, and it's going to be 4th down. Brian Redding in to hold. And they're going to try the field goal. Canners want to get on the board. And now they call a timeout. 6:54 to go in the half. Canners want to get their field goal effort organized. So we'll pause as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, the big high school band booster squad. Go for it! They purchased the high school band booster stand during the pregame. That's already behind us. And also a halftime here in the
We'll stay right with the action to capture all the ambience of high school football here at Musselman Stadium in Biglerville. Brian Redding, backup quarterback, is the holder. And Mike Smith will attempt what is basically an extra point try here. A real short field goal coming up. Well, apparently not. They've changed their mind. And they're going to try to punch it in from the 2. I honestly thought the field goal initially was the correct call. Mickley in there. Walmer flanked to the near side. Big 4th down. Play action. Mickley on a bootleg. He's trying to get into the end zone. And he touchdown. Jerry Mickley on the naked bootleg. Just got it inside the pylon for the touchdown. Excellent ball handling by the senior, and the Canners draw first blood 6-0 with 6:45 to go. So gutsy call by the coaching staff. They eschew the field goal effort and take it in for 6. And the Biglerville faithful have come alive. Mike Smith to attempt the point after. And now they'll go for 2. Oh! Redding looked to Walmer and threw it to him on the short hop. Excellent defensive pressure applied by Waylon Trimmer. And it's 6-0 Canners. Biglerville on the board. 6-0, and Bermudian will have time to try to answer with 6:45 to go in the second quarter. Well, Coach Jeck and I pondered about possibly moving Spangler into the offensive backfield. It gives them excellent balance. Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside. Hernandez, hopefully for the Canners, will be able to return and provides that outside threat, but Spangler has done some nice running up the gut. Morgan, Price, and Hoffman deep to receive for Bermudian. Bermudian is coached by Russ Greenholt. His assistants are Dave McCollum, Dave Orwig, Bill Bingham, and Pat Conrad. Smith, deep kick, taken at about the 19 by Price. He swings to the near side. Walmer with a nice open field tackle. A lot of side-to-side running. Picked up about 12 yards on the return. That can be effective setting up that wall, but it also takes time to develop. So Price ran about 40 yards, but it only counts as a 12-yard gain. He does show excellent speed, though, and he's got good size as well. 5'10", 198. Vasquez checks in at the outside linebacker position. Nothing doing. Nice job defensively by the Canners as they stack things up at the line. Chris Roberts and Chad Naylor, along with Rusty Spangler, clogging things up. 2nd and 11. So Deal lost the yard. Morgan is flanked to the far side. 2 tight ends for the Eagles. Off tackle to Price. Nearly broke it. Fetters with a stop, but Price got about 7. 2nd and call it 2, an 8-yard gain for Ben Price.
About 2 yards to go. A 9-yard pickup on the last play by number 27, Ben Price. 32 yards to go for the Eagle 41-yard line. 5 minutes remaining in the first half.
Morgan flanked to the far. Backs out of the eye. The pitch goes to Price. Looking for blockers. Flag down on the play. He's close to first down yardage, but we'll see about the flag. Amsbacher and May on the tackle. Roberts there as well. They'll mark off 10 yards for holding against Bermudian. So now they'll face a 3rd and 12. Have to take the penalty. That's a no-brainer, and they will accept it. 4:49 now to play in the half. 6-0 Biglerville. In case you just joined us, we are Adams Community Television, channel 25 on your Salmons dial. And on occasion, channel 15 on your GS Communications dial. Hopefully, someday we will be county-wide and available on all cable systems within the county. That is our goal. If you'd like to help us get there, give us a call at 334-3000. 3rd and about 13 for the Eagles. Morgan is flanked to the near side. Deal and Price in the eye. Play action. Spangler. Oh! Tried to hit Hoffman, and Walmer broke it up. So Eisenhart will have to boot it once again, and the Canners have held an excellent job defensively by the Canners thus far tonight. They've bent, but they have not broken. Spangler with some nice touch on the pass, but Walmer was right there to spoil things. Oh, blocked! The punt was blocked. Jerry Walmer having a big game. Outstanding job in the open field tackles. And this time he blocked Eisenhart's punt. 1st and 10, Canners deep in Biglerville territory. Jerry Walmer with the block. I'm not sure who made the recovery. It really didn't matter. It would have been the Canners' ball regardless. 1st and 10, Canners. Walmer flanked to the near side. He came pouring in and blocked the kick. Play action to Walker. Oh! Walker with a pattern that took a long time developing. Just had it glance off of his fingertips. So Mickley with the play action. I'm not sure if that was the precise route that Walker was to run. Looked like it maybe was intended to be an out pattern, and Walker turned it more into a hook. And Walker splits to the near side. Walmer flanked to the far. Hernandez yet to return. The give is straight ahead to Spangler. Made a cut. And he's into the secondary. Close to the 10. It's going to be close to first down yardage. Rusty Spangler with a nice cut at the line. Got about 9, and it's 3rd and 1. Canners definitely in 4-down territory. But they may go to Spangler again. They go to Amsbacher, second man throw. He's got the first down. It's going to be 1st and goal from about the 5. Good job by the Biglerville coaching staff mixing up these calls. Just when the Eagles start to key on Spangler, they hand off to Amsbacher, and he had nice yardage. 1st and goal, just inside the 5. Hernandez has removed his gear, so he may be done. Should be icing down that ankle. Fumble. Mickley lost the handle. I think it was Fetters who alertly fell on it. 2nd and goal from the 5. Walmer flanked to the far side, 2 tight end set with Walker and May. Play action, Mickley sees May all alone in the back of the end zone and connects for the score. Great job by Mickley. Chris May was waving his arms wildly in the end zone, uncovered, and Mickley set up and lobbed it to him for the 6-pointer. It's 12-0 Canners with 2:14 to go in the half. They will line up for an extra point effort. Let's see if they go with the fake. They kick it, and the kick is no good. Redding had some trouble getting that ball down on the tee. So Biglerville problems on the extra points, but they're on the board. 12-0. Hernandez is limping badly on that right ankle and does not appear that he'll be able to return, but he certainly gave the Canners a spark early, and now they're finding inspiration from all sorts of sources. Jerry Walmer coming up big, lots of open field tackles, and a block punt to set up that score. So Mickley has thrown for 1 and run 1 into the end zone. It's 12-0 Canners. Canners have turned things around, and perhaps Coach Sterner will get to watch this game on Adams Community Television. We have a 72-hour delay, and if you're watching Coach Sterner, hope you're feeling better. Looks like the players are giving maximum effort, so you'll be proud. Hoffman, Price, and Morgan deep to receive the kick by Mike Smith. Once again, it'll be Price, and he fumbles it. And the Canners have the football. Price tried to fall on it, couldn't do it. Aaron Perry on the recovery. Aaron Perry on special teams makes the recovery. And the Canners, with 2:04, a chance perhaps for one more score before the half. Price was looking for defenders and failed to tuck the ball away. 1st and 10, Canners. Amsbacher off tackle, got a couple. Petrosky on the tackle. 2nd and 8, clock running. A minute and a half to go here in the second quarter. And Biglerville's got to think about going to the airwaves. Walmer flanked to the near side, 2 tight ends. Spangler and Amsbacher, the running backs. Mickley, play action. Oh, caught by Chris May. Got about maybe 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and a long 4. But now the clock definitely a factor, under a minute. Mickley needs to throw the ball downfield. They do have a couple of timeouts left. Ball at the Bermudian 23-yard line. Walker split to the near side. Walmer flanked to the far. The draw goes to Amsbacher. He shook loose from a couple tackles, but nice job hanging on there by Price. Timeout, Canners. Got to call a timeout there. It's not going to do you any good in the locker room. And it's 4th down, so not exactly a textbook 2-minute drive here, as the Canners have gone on the ground and then had a 4-yard pass completion. The ball was underthrown, so May unable to get out of bounds or pick up a first down to stop the clock. And it's 4th and 5 at the 23. 24 seconds to go. A field goal would be about a 41-yarder, and I doubt Smith has that kind of range. But you do want to take a crack at the end zone here. Well, they're going to try it. They're going to try it. A 40-yard field goal attempt by Mike Smith. And given the problems on the extra point, we'll see about this. The kick is away and hits the crossbar. It hit the crossbar and bounced back toward the field of play. 19 seconds. Smith gave it an excellent effort. Again, they had problems getting that ball down, and Smith sort of had to double clutch. Drilled a line drive that smacked off the crossbar and fell harmlessly to the turf. So the score remains 12-0, 19 seconds. Let's see how Coach Greenhold plays it here. May just be content to run out the clock. Morgan in motion to the near side. The give is off tackle to Price. Spins out of a tackle. Picked up the first down, so they'll stop the clock to move the change, but only 9 seconds to go in the half. Price for 12 yards. Walker on the coverage. Oh, I thought Biglerville was about ready to call a timeout. That would not have made sense. And it's Bermudian that burns the TO. 9 seconds. We'll see how Coach Greenhold plays it. He's not out there. Defensive coach for Biglerville is giving instructions to his players. A brisk first half. No serious injuries except for Hernandez, and it appears unlikely that he will return. Slot to the near side with Morgan and Hoffman. Petrosky, the tight end. They haven't thrown to him yet. I'm not sure why. The draw to Price. Still on his feet. Fumble the football again. But the half ends. Chris Roberts recovered the fumble. Or was it Walmer? According to the PA man, it was Walmer. But in any event, the half ends. Biglerville 12. And I've been joined, as promised, in the booth by a local celebrity, Coach Joe Yeck. Coach, thanks for joining me here in the Skybox.
First time I've ever been called a celebrity, and especially a local one. That's a scary thought right there, Jeff. I'm very happy to come here right now. My Canners are up 12-0. Had a very good first half. Maybe you could. I was selling the football programs. I'm a little jack of all trades, and sometimes most people say master of none. Well, that's one of my things I do the first half is help sell football programs for the varsity club. I'm the advisor here at the school. Maybe you could give me a little
recap of the first half. Both offenses sputtered early. The Canners got a drive going. Hernandez really enthused them, gave them a lot of elusivity and hard running, outside running. They moved into position where on a fourth down call, Jerry Mickley ran a naked bootleg and just got it into the left corner of the end zone. They botched the extra point attempt, 6-0 Canners. Then on the ensuing series, Bermudian sputtered again. Eisenhart tried to punt, but Jerry Walmer came flying in from the right side and blocked the punt cleanly. The Canners took it in on play action pass. Mickley found Chris May all alone in the back of the end zone. Again, problems with the extra point. So it's 12-0 Canners, and you're right. They had an outstanding half.
I think what certainly has helped, last couple of weeks, I know you did the first game here where they got blown out pretty much by Littlestown, and the next game against Gettysburg, the same situation. But the last 2 weeks, the Canners have played very good football, losing 2 games in the last couple minutes against Northern Trinity. Last week, with Hernandez coming back into the picture, I think is going to help a whole lot, because of now you're going to have the option of whether to run or to pass to those big guys out of the backfield and things like that.
And the line has come through too. They were decent at pass blocking in that opening game against Littlestown. They gave Mickley and Redding time to throw, but no holes to speak of. But they've done a much better job here tonight.
I guess we have an acting head coach tonight. Coach Rich Sterner this week had kidney stones, and he had 5 kidney stones, and I think he went to the hospital today to get them blasted out. So filling in for him is assistant Jeff Wirtz.
Play action, Mickley to throw. Tipped away by Price and nearly intercepted, intended for Chris May. Well, I spoke about Coach Sterner in the first half. Sometimes that can be an inspiration for the players. They know that the coach is not here, but they're sure he'll be watching tape. So I think when he reviews the tapes from this game, he'll be pleased with what he's seen so far.
And Lou Holtz of Biglerville, that win one for the Gipper.
Walmer, outstanding first half, flanked to the near side. Canners had to start at their own 20 as the kick went into the end zone. Amsbacher got a couple.
It'll be interesting now in the second half. Hernandez got hurt in the first half. There was reports, first of all, it was an ankle and maybe even a fracture, but it looks like it was maybe a hamstring pull. And how severe, I guess, time will tell. But now they're back to that same situation they were in the previous weeks, where they didn't have that outstanding runner, and everybody else is going to try to carry the load. So it might give an opportunity for Bermudian. So we'll see what Biglerville does here in the early minutes here, whether they can sustain a drive.
3rd and 8. Mickley on a straight drop. He's airing it out for Walmer, overthrown, and the Canners will have to punt it away.
In the right flank there, he had Chris May all by himself. He went deep to Walmer, there was double coverage, and it looked like May was alone. He was pretty isolated, and might have had that at least for a first down.
The winning kick for the game ball. 3-4
Chris May to boot it away. Morgan deep for the return. May's kick is short. Bounces toward the sideline. Down by Biglerville, but Bermudian will have outstanding field position on their first offensive series here in the third quarter. They'll start play at the Biglerville 37. So that was about a 12-yard punt.
Well, the Canners are going to, and Bermudian has been a great rivalry. Last number of years, certainly Bermudian's held the upper hand. And I guess this first drive here, the second half, Bermudian maybe will tell a tale of the second half.
Big play by Rusty Spangler, bottled up Price, and threw him for a 2-yard loss. Rusty Spangler coming on here in his junior year, seems to get a little better each week.
Rusty's dad, Vinny, was a very good football player back in the, I guess it was late 60s, early 70s, and those teams at Biglerville that period of time won some league championships. And matter of fact, I think 2 years maybe in a row, 70, 71, I believe.
Play action in May, very nearly made the pick. Intended for Josh Grimm. Spangler has a nice throwing touch, but he doesn't have much to show for it in the way of stats here tonight. I think only one completion, and that was a screen pass to Chris Price.
Last few years at Spangler, he certainly had those veteran receivers, and you hear Coach Greenhold, at least in the paper, saying he's a very young team. And there again, there may be an example at Spangler, the veterans throwing to inexperienced receivers.
Hoffman and Morgan, twins to the far side. Oh, that bootleg fooled no one. Fetters, Smith, Spangler, and Chad Naylor all in there. And now Bermudian will have to punt. Big defensive series by the Canners. You look at that tight end for Bermudian, he's 6'4", 212, and Spangler has not thrown to him yet, so always makes you wonder why you have a target like that and you don't use him. Amsbacher takes it at his own 15, and he's tackled almost immediately. Josh Grimm down there on the coverage.
A couple of weeks ago, I was at the Temple and Penn State football game, and my alma mater is Temple, and I went to that game. I saw the size of Temple's front line, both offensively and defensively, and I looked at Penn State, and I said, this is one of the years that maybe we have a chance based on size. And Penn State, again, just showed how important the strength and quickness to the game is. And I look here the same way now at Biglerville and Bermudian. And Biglerville certainly, on the line is bigger than the Bermudian, and the only way I think you're going to compensate that is quickness. And Bermudian right now is not out-quicking the Canners, so the Canners maybe have the size and quickness to defeat them.
Amsbacher off tackle. Price and Deal on the stop. Give him about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6. Under 9 minutes to go in the third. Biglerville still on top, 12-0. Twins to the near side. Mickley handed off to Amsbacher. He got about 4, maybe 5. Again, Ben Price on the stop, and it's 3rd and 1.
I think Canners mostly will probably, with the score that it is, I think I'd be surprised if they'll pass too much. I think they're going to be trying to grind it out here, use some time. I know it's early in the second half, but if they can get some few first downs, that clock's going to work for them.
No question, Walker and Walmer, twins to the near side. 3rd and a short 2. The give is to Amsbacher. Second effort might have gotten him the first down. It's going to be very close.
It looks short. I think he might be about a foot short.
Yeah, you're right. He had to get it to the 30-yard line, and they're going to punt it away. Well, they went to Amsbacher all 3 times, and he got 9 3/4 yards, but that's not quite enough. So Chris May will boot it away. Bermudian tried for the block. Morgan muffed a fair catch, and now he's able to fall on it, but that was a booming punt. That's about 45 yards on the punt with some major league hang time, and Morgan very nearly booted it, able to fall on it, so Bermudian has a 1st and 10 at their own 26.
That ball was so high, it went above the lights. I don't think Morgan saw it when he came back out, back into the lights.
But Coach, I lost it in the moon? I don't know. Luckily for Morgan, he was able to fall on it and avoid further disaster. Spangler gives off tackle. Deal got maybe 4. Alexis Vasquez on the stop.
The correct pronunciation for his name is Vasquez.
Thank you, sir. I promise not to repeat my mistake. Morgan in motion, but it's Price who gets the carry. Face mask, perhaps. We'll see. Spangler and Walker on the tackle, but Price is a punishing runner. And for Bermudian, the Price was right as he picked up the 1st down. They'll tack some more yardage on here. It was a face mask. So that should put the Eagles in Biglerville territory. 1st and 10 at the Biglerville 46 with 6:06 to play in the 3rd.
High school rules are not like the professional rules. That one would have probably just been a 5-yard grabbing the face mask.
2 tight ends. Morgan in motion. The give is to Price, off tackle right. Vasquez tripped him up.
Messed up that name again, Jeff. It's Vasquez.
I said Vasquez.
Did you? You said no. You said Vasquez.
We'll have to go to the truck. We'll work it out, Coach.
Well,
listen to the replay. We'll see. Oh, well, nobody's perfect.
I don't mean to be so difficult. I apologize.
Oh, that's all right. You're forgiven. Price can't handle the pitch. And he wisely fell on it. So Bermudian has had some fumbleitis here tonight. The turnovers have really plagued them. Third down and about 23.
Third down, about 23 yards to go. Third about 22 yards to go for Bermudian to roll on the road 43-yard line.
Good spot for the screen here for Bermudian. They've shown the ability to execute. In fact, as I mentioned, that's their only completion of the night. We'll see what they do. Play action. Spangler has a man. Morgan on the catch. Finally bumped out of bounds by Chris May. Morgan on the reception. Well thrown ball by Spangler. First down and a lot more for the Eagles.
Yeah, as I was looking across the field there, I think every town has some people who really follow the local sports, and the gentleman holding the down marker on the far side is Coach Jeff Wertz's father, Mike Wertz. And Mike has volunteered his services over many, many years, as long as I've been teaching there at Biglerville, and probably before that, to take the chains and the down markers and things like that, gets his friends to help out. So
Price in the secondary. gang tackled at about the 12.
Just going back to that, I know it's a special night for Jeff's dad, Mike. You know, I'm sure he's really rooting real hard for his son too. Even though it's acting head coach, would be a nice win for Jeff and make his dad very proud of him.
Ben Price dragging half the Canner defense with him for 8.5 yards. Second and 1 at about the 11. Actually, it looks like the ball is just inside the 10-yard line. Play action. Spangler on the swing pass to Price. Breaks tackles and scores. Ben Price. Touchdown. 10 yards from David Spangler. And now the Biglerville coaching staff starts to think about those missed extra points. Here's an interesting story. The kicker for Bermudian is an exchange student by the name of Padroni. Soccer style, no doubt, and don't even have the gentleman's first name. So Mr. Padroni will attempt the extra point, and Bermudian calls a timeout.
I don't know where everybody always gets these outstanding exchange students. Seems like, you know, I coach, tennis, for example. We come up against every year schools that end up with these girls that play tennis. Went up against Carlisle the other night. We lost to them 4-3, and they had two exchange students, one from Bolivia and one from Brazil, and they both got victories against us, and it almost seems like it's unfair. So I'm really maybe rooting against this exchange student from scoring it.
Just out of principle. Well, I think it's Shippensburg has two exchange students on his soccer team, and they've made a profound effect. Speaking of soccer, the plan right now is to go to Gettysburg this Thursday night. Cumberland Valley and Gettysburg, they battled to a scoreless tie in their first meeting, and normally we would bring you football, but Gettysburg's high school soccer team is having such an outstanding season that we're planning to bring you high school soccer. Padrone drills it, no problem, for the left footer from Europe. Padrone, perhaps Italy, but we won't speculate.
Talking about Gettysburg soccer, I've had an opportunity the last couple weeks to see a couple of their home games. One against Chambersburg when Chambersburg beat them 3-2, and last night I went and saw them come back from being down 3-0 to Carlisle and come back and winning at 4-3. Pete Sontheimer, who was my student teacher as the head coach there, and I'm really happy for Pete. I think most teams a lot of times go through the doldrums some period of the season. I think Gettysburg, who has, like you said, an outstanding team, I think right now is just touching the surface, and I don't think Pete's certainly happy with that. I think he wants them to dig a little deeper, especially coming up this Cumberland Valley team, and they have a great opportunity, I think, to maybe win that league. If so, any of those fans are there, if you have never watched soccer, I think it's a fun sport to get involved in. I know a lot of people are so football oriented that they think, well, it's going to have an impact on football, but I think there's room for everybody to do something in the school.
3:20 to go in the third quarter. Chris May at his own 5. And he's tackled at about the 22. Very important drive for the Canners, and let's see if they mix it up a little bit here. 12-7. Biglerville, in case you just joined us.
I think it's very typical. I guess people thought, 12-0 lead, that Bermudian would just, fall over and play dead, but it's a backyard brawl.
No question. A lot of neighbors on opposite sides of the ball here. Two neighboring school districts. Petrosky tackled Amsbacher, but not before he picked up 5 yards. So Hernandez is done, and That certainly is good news for Bermudian. I'm sure they did not enjoy contending with him in the first half.
Playing field got a little more equal.
No doubt. See if the Canners rise. Oh! Look out! Spangler with the interception. He stepped in front of Chris May and returned it 35 yards for the go-ahead score. On the far side, exhilaration by the Bermudian fans. Here on the home side, stunned silence. 13-12 Bermudian with 2:13 to go in the third.
Now, quick things change. I was talking at the 8-minute mark. You know, Biglerville's up 12-0, and said to get a few first downs and move, and before you know it, they're down by 1 now. Total about less than 6 minutes. Bermudian's 13-12 lead.
Padrone to try to tack on the 14th point. And they're going to go for 2. Spangler, throw it for Petrosky, incomplete. Not, well, I guess maybe they wanted to get a 3-point lead so that a field goal couldn't beat them. But now a safety puts Biglerville in front, so I'm not really sure why they tried that.
Yeah, I don't know in terms of, you know, if they get the extra point, it's 14-12, and they say like they score one more time, and even if they don't get the extra point, it becomes 20-12. Biglerville then would have to score and get a 2-point conversion. So, you know, there's a little, you know, different thoughts on that. Certainly have a good, you know, kicker maybe in this European, and he gets the 14th, and maybe a field goal too. And it's hard to say, but
yeah, just on the basis of that extra point, he's got some strength in that left leg.
Like I said, it's a lot easier to second guess after the play's not successful.
Price will kick it away. Amsbacher and May deep. It'll be May at about his own 10. Straight up the middle, looking for blockers. Still on his feet, and finally hammered down just outside the 20.
Now, I was a coach in that situation in the special teams. You know, one of the things I don't like to see as players is I think when you're running the ball, I think you just got to run as hard as you can and find that seam on the move going up the field. He sort of slowed down as maybe the wall was breaking down, but you still have to continue that. He's got great speed, you know, 4 and some tenths in the 40, and I think you just got to go as hard as you can and, you know, try to break a few tackles, and who knows, you get a little seam and you're gone. But I think he just slowed down and it hurt him.
Good point. Seldom is it like the Red Sea for Moses. You got to get through there in a hurry. Bill Sloman on the stop, 2nd and 8.
We've got some young folks sitting around the 40 or 45-yard line. Please remove yourselves and find a seat in the stand.
2nd and 8.
Find a seat in the stand, please, young folks. Let the other people see the football game.
Amsbacher, not much room there. Deal on the bottom of the pile. And there's a flag down. Ben Amsbacher was agitated about something, and he drew the flag. So Canners with a 12-point lead, and things have unraveled a little bit here in the third quarter. They trail 13-12 with 1:01 to play.
Yeah, it seems like so far when things go good, they go really good. When they go bad, they go really bad. And right now, that's what's happening. The momentum has shifted. Plenty of time for it to shift back.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Brings up a third and about 19 yards for the Canners.
Now it's 3rd and 19, and the Canners burn a timeout. They've got 2 left for the game. 52 seconds in the third. We are Adams Community Television, and we want to thank our sponsor, the Pub and Restaurant on the Square in Gettysburg, open 7 days a week for your enjoyment. It's where good friends meet, personal and professional. You'll find it all at the Pub and Restaurant on the Square in Gettysburg.
And Coach Wirtz called that timeout. I don't think he went in that hole. It'll give them a little Girl Scout talk. I think he's saying, you better wake up right now and let's start playing football. I think he's probably giving a little piece of his mind, and hopefully the kids will respond a little bit here. Well, they're in a tough situation, 3rd and 19.
Tough loss last week for the Canners, 15-12 to Trinity. 0-4, looking for their first win. Bermudian 1-3, so something's got to give. They now have overtime in high school football, and I don't think there have been too many games that actually went into overtime. They set up the screen. Look out. Oh, right through the hands of Chad Deal. Overthrown. Looked like he couldn't find Amsbacher. Lucky for the Canners, that pass was incomplete, and now May needs another 45-yard punt here.
I don't think they're using enough as their wideout, Danny Walker. He's about 6'4". Situation like that, I wouldn't think it hurt to throw the ball high and deep. Just high enough, maybe 20 yards down the field, just throw it up and let him go get it. That kid has good jumping ability, and you get a small defender on him, I think it'd be pretty tough to stop him.
May boots it away. Morgan fell down at the 44. So once again, good field position for Bermudian. 38 seconds to go in the third quarter. And the Canner defense has to respond here.
After that first touchdown for Bermudian, their whole team has really, picked up their game. They were a little flat, and it's amazing what one score will do to turn that psyche around a little bit.
So Spangler and Price, we talked about them in the pregame, and they've responded here today. Price with a touchdown, and Spangler threw for one and ran an interception in for the other. Straight ahead on the sneak, got about 8 yards before Vasquez able to pull him to the turf. How was that, Coach?
Much better, much better. I think sports is, 80% mental and 20% physical at times. There was a professional, or not a professional golfer, I guess a guy, well, maybe a bit of a professional. He once said the story that I could have been a great golfer except for about 5 inches, and that was between his ears. And I think there's a case here sometimes, even a high school game, in terms of the belief in yourself once you, things start going your way.
So the quarter ends. Bermudian will face a 2nd and 3 when we return. Bermudian at the Canner 35. They'll try to pick up the first. Fourth quarter is underway. Price off tackle for a big gain. Chris May finally belted him down, but Price picked up the first down. And an injured player out there for the Canners. First and 10, Bermudian at the Biglerville 25. Looks like Chad Naylor down. Go ahead, Coach.
What year is the Price boy? I mean, this is the second half. Like I said, I didn't see him much in the first half, but
I think he's a senior. Yeah, he's listed as a senior. 198 pounds, and he runs hard.
Yeah, he's got some moves around people, but he'll also run through somebody also.
Kind of reminds me of Kraus for Littlestown. Same kind of runner. Good size, decent speed. Chad Naylor walking off the field in his own power. That's a good sign. He was injured in that opening game as well.
Coming off the field, number 64, Chad Naylor for the Canners.
First and 10. Price still on his feet, got about 4 or 5 yards.
There's another canner down at Price hit right into him and he's knocking him down like bowling pins.
Player it down. We'll take a timeout. Alexis Vasquez helped off the field. Apparently had his bell rung. 2nd and 6. Bermudian on the march, trying to expand their lead. Off tackle, Price. They're not going to catch him. Touchdown. 21 yards. Ben Price. And it's 19-12, Bermudian.
That's what I was saying now about, even if they go for the 1, they're still within 8 points here, so it'll be interesting what they're going to do. Before, if they would kick the extra point and get this extra point, they'd have been up by 9. The Canners would have needed 2 scores. So I think it was too early at that point to go for, go for that 2 on the last touchdown. Unless they go for the 2 here.
Padron will try to tack on the point after. Price has got to be close to 100 yards. Kick is up and good. 20-12, and now it's an 8-point lead. So overtime a possibility if the Canners can get something going.
Yeah, that's the other thing here. Like I said, a touchdown, a 2-point conversion now in this year's rules, you're going overtime. So if that happens and the Canners somehow would pull it out in overtime, big second guessing going on.
Yeah, because Padron looks pretty efficient.
Automatic.
Yeah. Well, Hernandez made a huge difference at the beginning, and Biglerville played with such emotion, and they've got to try to recapture that. They're flat right now, and they're not out of this game by any means. It's easy to quit, but they got to try to find a way to get a drive going.
Well, it's crazy about sometimes how coaches do things, and this is not a knock on Jerry Mickley, but it's sort of like Maryland last night. They had that young sophomore quarterback who wins 4 in a row for them. I forget his name, and all of a sudden they put Milanovic in there, and he loses. Now they might have lost anyway with the sophomore because it was pretty much drubbing by Georgia Tech.
Scott Cummings,
right? But even the last couple of weeks, when Mickley was hurt, this Reading kid really was starting to do some nice things in terms of passing the ball and finding different people. And it's tough again making that adjustment for Jerry Mickley to come back here. I don't know. Maybe you go to the sophomore here at Biglerville and and see what he can do and bring it. It's like the relief pitcher coming down.
Amsbacher to the 25. Reading did show nice touch when he was in there and completed passes to a lot of different receivers. Mickley has played well tonight, so I guess that's what makes coaching difficult at times. It's easy to second guess the coach. Walmer flanked to the near side, 2 tight ends set. Now Walmer in motion. Mickley still the quarterback, hands to Amsbacher, and he is just absorbed by Mike Weiser. Whoever was supposed to block Mike Weiser was AWOL on that play.
I hope they don't get too predictable just running on first down. Now it's an obvious passing down here.
The Canner and the Biglerville cheerleaders trying to incite this crowd a little bit. And even the fans are flat. Mickley threw it. Intended for Chris May. And May really had no chance to make that grab. 3rd and 11, 9:54 to go in the 4th.
I think it's just difficult sometimes to come back when you're off, and it's, you know, lay off to get your timing down passing the ball with your receivers.
Walker split to the near side. Walmer flanked to the far. Mickley being rushed. And now he's sacked. And they're going to have to punt it. Excellent pressure by the left side of the defensive line for Bermudian. And it's 4th and about 15.
This will be a very, you know, tough loss if Biglerville doesn't somehow find a way to come back in this. They certainly need a little break here defensively. They're going to have to, you know, maybe create some kind of turnover.
Another short kick by May, out of bounds. And Bermudian with excellent field position. They've had it all half, and they've got it again at the Biglerville 36-yard line. And I think you really have to credit Bermudian's Dave Spangler and Ben Price. Excellent senior leadership by those two players at very two crucial skill positions. And they've really stepped forward here tonight for Coach Greenhold.
Seemed like on May's punts the last couple, or the ones, you know, at least that were poor, it seems like he's very slow getting off instead of just a quicker, you know, movement towards the, you know, the ball when he's ready to kick it.
Price got about 5. Mickley there defensively. Call it 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6. Clock running and clock beginning to be a huge factor for the Canners.
I think it struck an interesting point there you made there in terms of leadership. I think, you know, there's an example of Price and Spangler who have been on a, you know, winning program, and they should get that leadership even in a season that they're having a difficult time with. And Biglerville maybe still searching for that leadership, going through a lot of losing campaigns recently.
Price with a convoy picked up the first down and more. Vasquez and May finally made the stop, but the Eagles moved the chains. Turnovers really hurt Bermudian in the first half, and they have not turned it over here in the second. Full house look for the Eagles. Power eye left. Not much there for Deal. Fetters and Spangler, along with Naylor, on the stop. 2nd and 10.
They're almost getting within the field goal range. Also, their you know, kicker, because he has pretty good range. But even if they don't try that, then they get another first down and they still stall out. You know, the Cannons are going to have to march the entire length of the field to, you know, to score to tie it up.
Play action. Spangler. Oh, interference. I think Mickley's going to get called for interfering with Morgan. Spangler was pressured and got it away, and interference is the call. Tough break for the Canners.
Yeah, Mickley definitely held him up there. Who was going out there to receive that ball?
Nick Morgan.
Yeah, he was held up by Mickley, and whether he made the catch or not, the ball was right near him, and the referee called it.
1st and 10, Bermudian. Penalty takes him all the way to the Biglerville 11-yard line. Power eye right. The give is to Ben Price. Who else? Plows forward inside the 5. Got about 6 tough yards. Vasquez crawls out of the pile along with Chris May. Anytime your strong safety's making a lot of tackles, it means the offense on the other side is getting 7-8 yards a pop. And that's what Price has averaged on the season, and he's certainly done that here tonight.
Well, if he doesn't get the ball for the next couple, runs, I'd be amazed.
Power eye right again. And again, it's Price. He strolls into the end zone. A tale of two halves here tonight. The first half was all Biglerville. They took a 12-0 lead into the locker room. And I hope Coach Greenhold has his halftime remarks on tape, because they must have been extremely effective. They've come out here and really executed in the second half. So Padron will try to tack on point number 27. It's 26-12 with 7:11 in the contest. Padron steers it through the uprights, and it's 27-12.
I think the sign of any good coach is what kind of adjustments you can make at halftime. And quite evident here in the second half, Bermudian did an outstanding job. Their entire coaching staff, certainly Coach Greenhold, but he's certainly surrounded by some very good coaches also. And whatever adjustments they made, they certainly have turned out right in the second half.
Well, this game's been an emotional roller coaster for the Canners. Hernandez gave him such a spark last week, and here in the early going tonight. And I guess that was one adjustment that Coach Greenhold didn't have to make, is how to contain Hernandez, because unfortunately for Biglerville, an injury put him out of the game. So that certainly made his task a little easier, I think.
No doubt about that. When you have a big gun that you go to and all of a sudden he's not there, people are looking around, who's next?
Price will kick it off. May and Amsbacher deep. Pooch kick. And it rolls out of bounds. Well, we'll see. I'm always confused if they have an option of a re-kick or if they get it automatically at the 35. And I think it is automatic.
One of the things that they're questioning there, that one of the Canners players touched that ball before it, on that early one spot there. Maybe officials couldn't tell, and I think they are bringing it out to the 35.
So as a result of that gaffe, Biglerville with their best field position of the second half. And if the Canners have a quick strike capability, now is the time to unveil it. Walmer flanked to the near side. Two tight ends for Biglerville, Spangler and Amsbacher, the running backs. Mickley, play action, has time. Oh, nearly intercepted. Walmer was 15 yards behind the defense, and there must have been a mix-up on that pattern, because Hoffman had the best chance at it, and he's wearing white. 2nd and 10.
And the Philadelphia Eagles have brought in a second quarterback when the first one hasn't done that well. Like I said, it's a little shake up there with the Eagles. Cunningham's not very happy with his role, but when you're not producing, you got to sometimes make the change.
That's right. Whoa! Incomplete. Mickley was in the act of throwing the football, and he was buried by an avalanche named Waylon Timmer. Timmer nearly decapitated him, but fortunately for the Canners, his arm was coming forward, and it's ruled incomplete.
Yeah, there's a case that no matter who the quarterback is, if you don't have the time, you're not going to have much success. Third
and 10.
Well, you're at a point in the contest now where you got to probably, even if you don't make it here, you're probably going to go for it on 4th down.
Mickley, the draw to Amsbacher. Close to 1st down yardage. Nice call by the coaching staff. As the defensive linemen were pinning back their ears, coming with a rush. And Amsbacher slid inside of him on the draw play, picked up 9.5 yards. It's 4th and 1.
Only there, if he broke that last tackle, he was gone for a touchdown because that last defender's the one that pulled him down.
And that would be David Spangler. Now, this might be a time to go to Rusty Spangler to try to pick up a foot. Let's see what they do here. They go to Amsbacher. 1st down at midfield. Timmer on the tackle. Amsbacher has developed since the first game, too. He's running with a lot more authority, not dancing around. He's picking a hole and plowing straight ahead, getting that low body height. So he seems to have improved his game as well.
He's a young guy, too. He's only a sophomore. There's another sophomore, Eric Conrad, who, freshman, who went down earlier this week, I think, with a broken foot or ankle. Somebody rolled on him in practice.
Play action. Oh, Walmer just can't gather it in. He was open, had a couple steps on Hoffman, and it just caromed off his right hand. I don't think, had he gotten 2 hands on it, he might have been able to pull it in.
Well, it looked like he stopped running, too, and it made the catch a lot more difficult. And if he would have kept running, he had to look back over one shoulder. Maybe that made it difficult. Ball was thrown to his outside shoulder, and he actually turned to the inside, and he had to sort of spin around and catch it. It made it a lot more difficult than maybe he had to.
2nd and 10. And the nice thing about moving Spangler to fullback, it gets Danny Walker in the regular lineup, too, so that he has certainly a similar size at that other end position. They're setting up the screen. Amsbacher. Nice open field tackle. Bill Sloman was not slow, man. He zoomed in there and buried Amsbacher. Saw that screen, came all the way across field. And it's 3rd and 11. Somebody's got to block that guy from the far side of the field. They can't let him get over there and disrupt that play. Excellent cross-field pursuit by Sloman. From that right defensive tackle position. Twins to the near side. It's Walker and Walmer. 3rd and 11. Play action. Mickley. Oh! Spangler stepped in front and knocked it down, intended for Chris May.
Spangler's certainly doing a nice job, both offensively and defensively. He came up with that big interception, when they were down, and same way here now. That was, in the seam there, he steps in and almost pulls you off the interception.
I guess you'll have to contend with him in on the hardwoods this winter.
Yeah, he's certainly a good player, and you're right. He'll be a good leader for them there also.
An excellent scorer in the low post, does a lot of things well, but we'll stick with football right now. Walker to the near side. Mickley on a straight drop, intended for Walker, and overthrew him. Bermudian will take over on downs with 4:52 to go, and look for Price left, Price right, Price up the middle at this point. They can just try to grind out the clock. Biglerville only has 2 timeouts left. The intermediate passing game is not something that comes easily to players at this level. The hooks, the little out patterns, the timing patterns, I'd say that's an area in which the Biglerville passing game can improve. Price off tackle right, bulling his way for close to a 1st down. Ben Amsbacher threw him to the turf, but Price is a punishing runner. well over 100 yards at this point.
And talking about the passing game again, most high school players, and there's always the exceptions, they look for that one primary receiver. It's tough to check off and then find the next guy. And I think right now, Mickley's going through that situation again. You know, what we're watching here is that he's able to see that one receiver and is just throwing to him. He's not seeing anything else. Or again, what I thought with Brian Redding was starting to develop there in terms of, you know, picking up a lot of the open people.
Price on the pitch. Good blocking by Deal. Sealed off the lane, and Price got about 10. Moves the chains, another first down. The clock stops. But 4:07 to play. And Bermudian with 27 unanswered points here in the second half.
And going back to Jerry Mickley, I think he will make the adjustment. Just that was a tough one, to come back here this week. Last week, I believe he came in at halftime, and Hernandez ran the ball pretty much. This is the first time he had an opportunity to throw since that first game of the year when he went down with injury. So again, it was just, it's almost a first game for him again, and it's tough to make the adjustment, but he'll come along.
Price off tackle, plowing forward for 6-7 yards. Good job. Credit that offensive line for Bermudian, too. Price is doing a lot of this on his own, but he's getting some nice initial holes, too. Naylor and Fetters and Spangler and company in on the stop. Clock ticking away, and with it, the hopes of the Canners. 3:40 in the contest. Power eye left. Price takes the pitch. Cuts inside. He's got one man to beat. Chris May tried to bump him out of bounds, and Price just would not go down. 30-yard touchdown run for Ben Price. That's his third touchdown of the game. Or is it his fourth? I'm not sure. Spangler has one. That may be his fourth. He had, yeah, I guess that's his fourth. He caught one, and he's run 3 in here in the second half. 4 touchdowns in the second half for Ben Price. And I think it's safe to make Ben Price our player of the game. That play fooled no one. Jerry Walmer, nice job defensively. And it's 33-12 with 3:20 to go. Ben Price has been the difference here today. Unfortunate for the Canners that Hernandez went down with injury. You just think what might have been.
Yeah, certainly he would have helped in terms of keeping the ball in our possession a little longer, and maybe breaking one, but also opening your passing game also. Price has great outside speed. I mean, he beat Chris May on the outside there, and Chris has decent speed himself. But Price is a solid player.
And he does it all. Now he'll kick off. May at the 10. Straight ahead. Finally tackled by Josh Hinkle. But May gets out to the 30-yard line. 3:13 to go.
I think when you're a kick returner, punt returner, you got to run with some abandonment. Was that the right word I want there? Or lack of abandonment. And I think Chris is still dancing around back there. He's got to just take it and head upfield and as hard as he can, and at some moment he makes a hard cut. But right now he's still jockeying back and forth, and maybe the coaches will pick that up in the films and make some adjustments.
Oh, I love it, cliche, and I guess you would say run with reckless abandon.
Oh, thank you. I think we're even there about that Vasquez now. You're sort of getting on me here.
Oh, intercepted by Spangler, his second pick of the day. Intended for Walker, and it was thrown behind him.
I guess I was correct, because I said he ran with a lack of abandonment. So he has to run with reckless abandonment.
Well, we need an English teacher in the booth.
You can keep all the cliches. That's your job.
I love a cliche. So Spangler has had enough action. Jason Myers in there replacing him at quarterback. Spangler's job is finished for the night. Backup running back Luther Green on the carry, and he's dropped for a 5-yard loss. Rusty Spangler with a play.
Luther Green, I think last year in junior high, he was scoring mucho touchdowns for Bermudian. You'd always see his name in the paper, so he's a young backup runner.
Under 2 minutes now in the ball game. Fumble. Bermudian able to fall on it. Center Matt Brandt made the recovery. Clock ticking away. 1:20 and change. Well, thanks for joining us here in the second half, Coach.
I'll always enjoy it. I'm just a little disappointed how it turned out.
Luther Green still on his feet. Running hard inside the 20 and finally knocked out of bounds with 1:10 to play.
Like I said, I mentioned him. Another example of just some good outside speed. He went down, turned inside, juked to the outside, and off he went.
Young man appears to have decent speed, to put it mildly.
1 minute, 10 seconds remaining regulation time.
So don't forget, fans, next Monday night it's high school soccer. Gettysburg and Cumberland Valley, a battle of titans. Illegal procedure is the call. Moves the Eagles back 5 yards. 1st and 15 with 1:09 to play. Jeff Petrosky with a couple of yards on the carry, rather. Under a minute to play. Well, Myers is just going to hand it off 1 or 2 more times, and this one will be in the books. Corey Hardy. First down inside the 10 at about the 8. And I don't think Coach Greenhold really wants to score here, but
I don't know how much this Luther Green has played, but I might have him in the backfield with Price. That'd be a heck of a 1-2 punch in terms of speed, anyway.
And Myers just falls on it, and that's going to do it. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Jeff. Good luck with the rest of the year or whatever you're doing. And I saw where you celebrated your 5th anniversary there at Adams County Television, and you guys are doing a great job in there. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Coach Joe Yeck. And so, for Paul Plank, this is Jeff Cook saying the final from Musselman Stadium, Bermudian 33, Biglerville 12. Until next Monday night, sports fans, good night.